Friday morning. Hope that you've had a great week. It's been a really interesting week for me as I've had a chance to spend some time walking fields with Southern FS and Louis Denny down here in very southwest Illinois. Would that be a fair assessment of where we are?
It would be.
So, Louis, tell me a little bit, first of all, where are we located? And kind of general, what does agriculture look like here?
We're located in southern Union County, uh, right alongside the Mississippi River, outside of McClure, Illinois. It looks a little bit different for us here at Davis Farms than it does a lot of our neighbors. As you can see behind us, we've got some 38-inch wide row crops that we furrow irrigate, and not a lot of that going on around here.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because when I think about 38-inch rows, and you call those hip rows, it's not something we typically see out of this area. So kind of walk me through, man, what's prep look like? Why are we doing it? And what are you doing in terms of fertility? Because it allows you to kind of do some interesting things with banding nutrients.
It definitely does. Um, Drew and Marty started out on the 38-inch beds to help get water through as they irrigated. That's less rows per quarter mile, so you can push more water per row to get water across the field run a little bit quicker and easier. The 38s also gives us a big benefit of being able to run spray rigs nonstop all summer and not run any crop over.
That's a good, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, definitely helps with that. And we can band our nutrients on the bed. Plenty of room up here to knife or wide drop, whatever we're going for, and get it right in the root zone. So that's the biggest benefit.
That's awesome. So talk to me a little bit about water, because I met you a couple weeks ago, got to ride in the tractor with you while you guys are out here planting. And you talked to me a lot about pushing water, getting water through these. Kind of talk to me just in general, when are you guys going to start irrigating? And what does it look like to move water across a field like this that's probably, what, a quarter mile long?
A little over a quarter, yeah. So we've got a lot of variable soil types in our area, and with that, the water moves at different speeds across the field. So it's imperative that we get the water across the field quickly in less than 24 hours, if at all possible, so we don't overwater the upper end of our field. And with that being said, you don't want to underwater naturally the low end of the field. So that's the biggest driving factor, getting across the field in a timely fashion.
So there's a lot of science, but there's a lot of art to it too, right? That's kind of what I'm hearing.
Definitely, definitely.
So Louis, one thing that really impresses me, and I've gotten to learn a lot though, is your scouting of your fields. So you guys farm a lot of acres, let's just be honest. But this morning when we met, before we came out to this field and we had the drone up and we were walking this, you were already talking about how you have a lot of your crops in the ground other than on the other side of the protection levee, right?
Yes,
but
right.
You had already said, man, I'm already walking 30 and 40 acre blocks to see what's going on. So talk me through, man, when you're walking a 30 or 40 acre block down in this region, what are you looking for?
This time of year, we finally got, I don't want to say caught up, never really feel like we're caught up. Had enough time, caught up enough that I can scout and assess stand counts more than out of the window of the truck, and really start to look for any pests, any sort of early insect damage and feeding, closer look at stand counts, and really any, hopefully, no herbicide damage, but look for that as well.
Definitely. And on a cool spring like we've had, I mean, let's be honest, we're seeing a little bit, right?
That's right.
Of that herbicide damage. But luckily the weather's nice, and I think a lot of things are going to grow out of it.
I hope so.
So let's kind of talk a little about fertility then. So you do something I really like. I'm a huge proponent of sulfur. And when we're standing in corn, you're talking about coming in and we're going to start side dressing nitrogen. But you're also putting sulfur in there. So kind of walk me through, man, what's been the process of making sure we get sulfur in with our nitrogen, and what else are you putting with that nitrogen to really enhance efficiency?
Well, we got started on the heavy sulfur use a few years back. Naturally, all the coal-fired power plants in Illinois and everywhere in the nation have slowed up. And we used to be able to get gypsum from some local power plants and apply that on the fields and have really good calcium and sulfur added every year. No longer can get our hands on that. So we went to trying to split apply anytime we're putting nitrogen down. Naturally, have sulfur with it to enhance the efficiency of it. And try to spread that out through 3 or 4 times throughout a year.
I like that.
that's a good time to add micronutrients or any other products you want to put down while you're making that pass.
Definitely. And today we were kind of talking about, man, maybe we should put a little molly in, right? Because it helps with that those enzymes. They're going to help enhance that nitrogen use. So I love that, right? When we're thinking about it, we're getting efficient with our nitrogen, but to do that, we have to understand how everything else comes into play.
Absolutely.
So, Louis, I'm going to put you on the spot now. When I get a chance to visit with guys like you who really take pride in what they're doing, right? You're walking 30 and 40 acre blocks to see what's happening on your farm. If you could tell me one or two things that you have learned over your career that have really kind of moved the needle, if I could say that, what would you tell someone like me?
In conventional farming, I would say starting with your planter, whatever the crop is, corn or soybeans or cotton, 3 row crops we grow, singulation is probably the single most important thing. A lot of people don't think of that with soybeans, but it definitely equates to yield.
Oh, yeah.
So starting with the planter singulation, then I would say my next biggest pet peeve, I guess, is weed control. And then keeping your plants healthy as long as you can throughout the growing season to finish it off.
I love it, right? Makes sense, and it's going to pay ROI dividends at the end of pretty much all of your years.
Yep, I hope so.
That's right. Well, Louis, I really appreciate your time. I know we'll be back later this summer, and we'll visit some more.
Sounds great. Thanks for coming out.